So far, everything looks good. We have the sign-in functionality done. We have the sign-up functionality done. We could also now log in with Google. So I'm gonna continue with Google. You could see this pop-up opens up, and then you have to just put your name. So let me just get since it's only one account, it's automatically gonna go and navigate me to the home page. So this is actually like my profile page, what you could say. I don't want the sign in button to appear anymore since I'm already logged in. So this is the next step we're going to do. We're going to put the things that are in our Redux. So you can see in our Redux toolkit, we have this stuff that is preserved. We have an ID, we have the username, we have an email, we also have an avatar image from Google, as well as the created ad and updated ad. So we could use the image to be display it on the navbar section on the top, and we could also have a profile image, custom one that only the authorized user could access. So let's do this, and also we could make the profile page private so that only the user could use it and no other person. So let's just go quickly into our terminal and let's have all this closed. You could also close all of these stuff out using this close all. That's it. And then have all of that expanded like this. Now you can see uncollapsed. Now you could collapse them one by one. So the first thing that we have to go is to our header, and that's in our client. So if we go to the source, we remember the components that we created. This is the header, the thing on the top. Let's just have the image, or let me just put this over here and also this over here. Let me just bring the code over here and just scroll this down. Oh man, I want it together. Now it was coming together. Come on. Bring this on this part, that part, and I think it looks good now. Okay, so great. So the thing that I want is, this is the header, right? And in the header, we want now an authentication. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna import something. So from here, we're gonna remove this. We don't need this, and we could say import use selector hook from React Redux. This is gonna get our state variable, all right? The states that are stored in our that are stored in our React Redux toolkit. So what we could do is, once we got the state, we could initialize that in our header. So inside here we could say const user, or you could say whatever the user is. So essentially you have it as current user, so current user, and then you could have it as use selector state and state dot user. This is the name, and I'm gonna have to recall this, that I'm actually using use selector and state, and I'm actually using state dot user. And you might be asking, well, the name we actually defined already in our Redux user slice. So over here you can see we named it as user. That's why we're using this user slice. All right, so no need to do anything, and just leave it like that. All right, so now let's go back here, and you could see now we have this state. Got it. We could now use this as a conditional render here. So in the sign in, right, we have to see if the person is already authenticated or logged in. We don't want them to see the sign in, or we just want them to see their profile image. Okay, so for this conditional rendering, we could just have the following. So first of all, let's actually have something here. So I'm gonna have to comment this out. Let me just comment that out, and let me just add the thing that I want. So first of all, we have a link to the profile page. So link to, and we have equal to the profile page / profile. All right, and this is gonna be dependent on the following parameters. We have current user state. Remember, if the current user exists, right, then we want to show the image of the user. So we could have like so. We could have the image img of the user. So source, you could actually put the sort as current user dot avatar, and alt avatar. They just add some class name here as well. So let me just have all of this stuff out right now. And this is if the user exists, right? So then show that. If not, then show this. So this means just add in like sign in button. Remember this sign in button, this one? Just bring this entire thing alt up, up, up right here. The one that I commented out. So now you could see that the image is appearing, which is crazy. Now I could remove all of this stuff that was in the comment section. We don't need that anymore. But the thing is, now I said if the current user exists, then show the image source and current user dot avatar. Where are you seeing this value? Well, remember we saved them, and in the states they also have that value, so you could see it in the dev tools as well. To right, and you could see over here state action. All right, so we have payload and ID. Just one second. Anyways, what we have here is this profile image, and this is coming from there. And there were certain parameters that we had to, specify, and those are being specified, and that's why, everything seems to work. So let's go back to Redux. I think we manually did something wrong. Okay, so we have this payload, and over here we have the user, current user, and then the avatar. You can see this is the value. So user.avatar or current user.avatar. All right, so that we can use that, and we can use all of them else as well. So anyways, let's go and cancel that out. And the image is so big, we need to make it smaller. So we'll just add in some class names here. Right after the alt, I'll add the class name tag. And the class name for the image, first of all, let's make it rounded - full so that it's circular. We could have the height as 7, so this is going to shrink now. Okay, and then we have the width of 7, and then we have an object cover. So this is going to maintain its aspect ratio no matter what. Object cover. All right, so now that the image is there, which looks good, we have the sign in page, we have the link page, which is perfect as well. We want now the next part of this. So this is, you have the image. It looks pretty nice here as well. And if you go and put it like that, it looks good too. And remember, we add this, responsive design where if you put it in a tablet or less than, that kind of dimension, the other options wouldn't appear. So now this is perfect. We could go and do the next part of this process where we could create our own custom profile page. You can see over here that we want this profile page, right, exhibiting. So we want it to go to the profile page. So this is actually going to the profile page when you log in. But the thing is, we want to show the profile page. How can we do that? It's pretty simple. All we got to do is we have to go to the source and then into the components, and then we have to create another component in here. So that's going to be called private route. So let me just go in the components, and I'm going to call this as PrivateRoute.jsx. All right. So now we have the PrivateRoute.jsx. We could have the following. We have RAPC, and you can see that this is the private route. Now the thing is that we have this private route, correct? And I just call it as private route here as well. Okay, so now that we have this private route, we only want this profile image to be seen only for those people who have logged in. Because look at this. If I go back to the home page, if I go back to the sign in page or anything like sign in page, now if I just do /profile, I'll still be able to see my profile page. I don't want that, right? I don't want that. I only want the authorized users to see it. So if we go to the app.jsx file, this is created, right? Now we have to go to the app.jsx file, which is right here. And let me just maximize the screen now. So app.jsx file. And in here, what we have is, we have a couple of things that we could look into. So the thing is this routes, and then the route, and then this is the profile, right? We actually create an upper wrapper around it. So what I do is right after the about, we say route, and we say the element, and inside the element we put the tag, which is private profile, private route. All right, so private route, close it. And now you don't want this closed over here, right? This is a catch all route for all. This is a catch all route for all private routes. Yeah, but you know, we don't want that, but actually we want it closed after this profile. So whatever's inside of this is going to be private. So this is the route closing tag like this. I believe it's now gonna, you know, work. Okay, I I had to close it like that. My bad. Okay, so now I guess we have it correct. Still, it's complaining. There's got to be some issue that needs to be resolved. So route, opening. Okay. Let's see. No. Okay, so we have route element private route. That's okay. And then we have, okay, we have one thing over here. We had to close this tag. I forgot to close that. Okay, so we have over here route element, and we have private route, and this is the closing tag for this. And then we have, I mean, opening tag, and then this is the closing tag. My bad. And then we have this inside here. All right. So this is now going to be private, but what we have to see is that if this is private, right, we're gonna have to import it. You can see up it's imported on the top. Now we're gonna have to use the following as well. So now let's go back to the private route.jsx, and we have to import outlet component as well as navigate component. These are two different components. Now don't confuse yourself with hooks. Hooks are like use navigate. This is actually a component, and outlet is also a component, and they're from React Router DOM. All right, so they're from React Router DOM. If you see, we have private route, and we have you know, the route, but now we could actually preserve the user. So remember the same process where we use the selector. So we could actually import that as well. So import selector, use selector, hook. This is hook from, you guessed it, React Redux, like that. And you know, just for the sake of consistency, I'm making these brackets curly as well. I mean, double quotes. What am I saying? So double quotes for everywhere. So just to maintain consistency. And let's create our current user again. The current, so let's say current user and is equal to use selector, and we have state, and then we have state dot user. All right, this looks great. I believe we could move forward. What I did was I actually didn't have to do it in here. This is not inside. It's not in the div fragment. I mean, it's not in the JSX, but it's actually outside before the return. So over here, I initialized my current user, and I could actually see if that user exists or not. So what I could do is I could say if, you know, the current user exists. So we could either just have, you know, not even this, and in the return you could have, well, actually you don't even need these round brackets. You could just have it specified within this one line. So because we could do it in one line, so if the current user exists, we want an outlet. All right, outlet means it would go to its specific component, which is going to be the profile. And if not, the user exists, then we go to the sign in page. That's basically the private route that JSX doing. So outlet is basically over here. If you go into the private route, so over here, which is in the app.jsx, you see that there's this profile page, right? It allows you to go to that outlet. It allows you to go in there only if you're authenticated. If not, then it's just going to navigate you. So this is a navigate component and has a to attribute that goes to the sign in page. Seems perfectly fine, and I'm hoping that it's gonna work now. Let's just cross this out. I don't know why. So let's go here, and we're authenticated. That's why we're allowed to do this, right? But if I actually delete the thing from my application, it should be over here. If I delete this local storage, which has the persist root and all my information, right? If I delete this, now if I refresh the page, I wouldn't be able to go back to that page anymore. And now if you look at the user, the state has been changed to null. So that's amazing. And if I try to go to the profile page now, profile, it requires me to sign in first. So sign in, it's saying like sign in, so continue with Google. Of course, I only have one account, so that it's not giving me the select options, but now when I log in, you can see now Coding Cleverly is in my local storage. So this is working super cool. Now all I want to do is add some over here an image, a profile image, a custom one. Since this is now home, I want a cool profile image over here, and you know, some form where you could actually see all this information about my account. So let's go and do that. So we're going to profile page. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the Profile.jsx page. So this one. Now, essentially, this is the profile page, and you can see now we're in the profile page. I don't know why I was actually in some other. Yeah, I was in the home. Okay, yeah, it's happening something. I clicked on that, it goes to the profile. I click on this, it goes to the profile. Perfect. So according to my code, it says it like navigate. So it says header. If it's authenticated, you know, it would link to the profile. Otherwise, it would, you know, oh yeah, it links to the profile. I mean, it doesn't navigate you. It just has a link to that. So, I mean, it's fine. It, you know, it takes you to the sign in. The sign in component has the, you know, go to the home page. But now we're in the profile page, and we want this information here. We don't want it at all nested in the profile, in the home page section, right? We want it in the profile section. So let's create the profile page UI. Let's go to the profile.jsx file, which is over here. And now let's just quickly add the UI components that we need. So first of all, we have to have the div here, and I'm gonna have okay, I'm gonna have a div, and inside the div we're gonna have an h1 tag, and the h1 tag is gonna be related to the profile. So I'll say profile. All right. So let's just have that other on the other side as well. This. Okay. Okay. So I changed it. I'm not sure why I didn't apply it, but yeah, it should be applying it later on. Or did my server turn off or something? Everything seems working. Oh yeah, we got some issue, but it's still working now. Okay. Let's comment this out. Oh yeah, it is working. So we have this head one, right? Now we want some of the cool things that we could add. So we want first we want the text to be a little larger. So class name, and we'll have 3XL. So we'll say text hyphen 3XL. Save. You can see it's bigger now. We want the font to be semi-bold. We want the text centered. We want the margin of Y to be 7. All right. So we got a cool profile, you know, text over here. Now we need a form tag. The form is not going to have any action, but I'm going to contain a lot of things inside here. So first of all, we have an input field, and this is going to be for, you know, it's going to be a type text, And then we have, well, actually, I don't want an input field at the moment because I actually want to display my image. Okay. So this is the image. I want it IMG, and I could say SRC, right? Now we have the image, so we gotta actually get the image again from the same process. What we do is current, so it's use selector from React Redux, okay? And then we have, over here we have in before the return, we basically create a const use user, current user, and we assign it to use selector state, and then we have that. Okay, state dot user, that's it, nothing else. Now that we could have that, we have current user dot avatar. Okay, okay, and then alt avatar, and I don't know, add some cool. Okay, now we have this avatar, but it's not being appeared. Now if we look into this, so we have current user use selector, and we have state, and then we have state dot user, and then over here we're trying to add the image of the person. At the moment it's not allowing me to have the avatar displayed. I don't know why, but it should. After that we could have the, I mean, there's a lot of things that could go into this, but initially that the image is not being appeared. So okay, so I'm feeling like maybe we're not saved or something. Let's see. Refresh console. Let's go to application. Okay, user exist. Okay, so why is it not being displayed, the image? Okay, so now let's go and turn off. So let's just sign out or something. So we need sign out buttons, but right now we don't have any. So let's just delete this. This should navigate back. Let's sign in again. Okay, it goes to the home page. We click on the profile page, and it doesn't give us the thing that we need. We can go to Redux, and we could see over here that we have avatar, and then we have that. Go back here and see where we've done wrong. So we have form, and inside we have the image, and we had image source current user dot avatar, and we have alt profile. Okay, so let's just have it as profile instead. Avatar. Okay, class name is nothing. So the image could have a class name of rounded hyphen full. Still not appearing. Is it because of the form? Still not. It's not because of the form. It's something else. Use selector, current user, use selector, state dot user. So, we have use selector state.user, we have current user. Okay, I guess one issue that I've done many times before is having this bracket, because essentially that's how it's tracking everything, and how your images are being appeared. So rounded full. And now that we have our image being placed, which is amazing, now we just need to add some styling to it. So rounded full, let's have height of 24, width of 24, look, height of 24, width of 24, and then we have, oh, it's not being saved. Okay, now we have object cover to maintain aspect ratio for every device, and then we have cursor pointer, so hyphen pointer, so that I could, when I hover over, I could see this pointer effect. I could also have self-center. Now content is like text center, right? But this is for images, self-center. Now this is going to allow it to be on the center. And then we have margin top of 2. Okay, so the thing that it means that it's not being applied. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into the class name div, and over here I'm going to add some CSS styling here as well, padding of 3. Okay, it looks good. Now we have max hyphen width hyphen LG. All right, and then we have MX auto, meaning it's all going to be in centered. Then we have the this is all that inside the form we have a class name again, and the forms class name has the flex that will have all of these things. At the moment I just see the image, and it should have the username. So I'm thinking of having a username here. So maybe an input tag here, and type text, and then we have placeholder, we have username, and then we have default value. We could have a default value, and that will be, sorry, it applies all these stylings for me, right? I don't want all of that. So default value, you're essentially having that. At the moment you could see that this is my username. Okay, so yeah, it was giving you styling. Here's the class name, and you could have some cool styling for this as well. Suppose you could have some cool styling for this as well. So suppose if you want the the image, what is it called, the input field to have a border, you could have a border. It's going to give a nice border, and then you could also give nice padding of 3, and you could also give some rounded LG. Okay, so this is looking good, but the thing is that they're not centered at all. So I'm gonna have to put the input avatar. So in the class name, you see this. So inside this form, we could have a property that it says flex, so that they're side by side. We could have a flex call. Now they're in the column direction, and you could also have a gap of 4. So they're a little spaced out like that. So now it looks much better. It looks really good. Okay, so now that we have this, I forgot one more tag here. There should be an ID tag. So ID, and the ID should be also called you know, it should also be called username. So placeholder username and ID equal to username, like that. All right. So now we have this copied. We could go and next is the email. And after that, we'll just need 3 more. Now let's just zoom, make this a little over here and make this a little smaller. I'm just gonna quickly now change the next ones, which is email and password. So I'm gonna say placeholder email. You could actually use this following thing. I think it's Control D. I don't know. Yeah. See, so wherever you see username, right? You could have Control D. It's gonna take it to the back. You could get the next one, and you could get the other one, and then you could just write onto it. So what we need now is this email, and that's gonna reflect everywhere. Over here we have Control D, and this should be password. Okay, so now it should be applied. Okay, the reason why it's not being applied at the moment, I guess. Yeah, I didn't refresh it. So I have to refresh the page. You could see the email is there. Now the password you don't want, right? So you don't want the default value password. So just keep it like that. And this is gonna be, your field where we'll just have the text as password. And the placeholder is password, on change is handle change, ID is password, class name is border P3 and rounded LG. So this is perfect. We don't need that password at the moment because this is going to be basically maybe there to change your password if needed. So we could format document over here. Okay, that looks really nice. And we can move on to the next part, which is the button. So now after this, we have a button at the end. And in the button tag, it's pretty simple. All we got to do is we have to put a button here, which is going to be calling submit or something. And we have over here, let's have a class name to this button. And the button's class name is all pretty simple. Background slate, and we'll put 700. Nice color. Text white. And we have padding of 3. And we have rounded LG. We have uppercase. We have text hyphen center. And we also have opacity of 95%. So you can see this is our submit button, which is fantastic. Now, when we have all of this done, we could move out from this, form tag, and move out from the form tag, and you could have, some text for it, delete account or something else. So let's have a div here. And essentially in this div, we have a span, and the span will say delete account, like that. And we'll also have a span that says sign out. All right, like that. Now look at this. The thing is that they're not really that good in styled, right? They're not good styled. So what we could do is I could fix this up by first of all having a class name here. And for this, you could have the span as text-red, and that's 700. And we'll have a cursor pointer, -pointer. Look at that, looks good. And the span for this one, we have a class name, and we could have the text-red 700, and we also have cursor -pointer. Looks good, but now we need to space them apart. So we have a class name here in the div. Okay, and then we could call flex. Now we'll have, since we called flex here, what we need to do now is justify between, and this is gonna put them in separation right there. And we could also have the last one, which is modern top of 5, which is gonna look good like that. So now it looks good. We have delete account and we have sign out. So both of them look really nice. And pretty much that's it, I guess, with the profile. Now you can see it's pretty responsive because I actually added the this, this thing, which is padding of 3 overall through the entire div, and then we have max width is large for large devices. So it says the maximum width for this form is large, so it can't go exceeding this, these widths of these input fields can't just go extremely. It's all set and constrained. And then we have MX auto, which is margin of X is auto, meaning it's all centered. So this is pretty much it with the UI design of the profile page.